Hi all, today we'll see Selenium interview questions. First one, Selenium WebDriver architecture. I will explain about the Selenium WebDriver architecture. This is architecture. So once we write code in client library is Java, Python, C Sharp, any language. We can choose any favorite language. When you write the code, all our code convert to JSON format. JSON format through HTTP protocols. That code, after converting to JSON code, it goes to the browser driver. It goes to the server. Server is nothing but browser driver. Each browser have one driver. Chrome driver for Chrome version, Chrome browser, Firefox for GitHub, Gecko driver for Firefox driver. So for each browser there is one Chrome driver. Once the code is reached to the Chrome driver or server, it communicates with browser. It communicate and execute in the browser, and again communicate through HTTP protocol. It communicate with browser, and again it send response to the client library to our code. Once our code is executed, if you want any data from the browser, it is sent back to the client library. We store in variables, right? That is the response from the browser. Our code directly will not interact with the browser. We need to install Chrome driver. It reads the code and then communicate with the browser. For that, first we need to create object for the WebDriver, like Chrome driver equal to new Chrome driver. But this is allowed, but WebDriver interface is the WebDriver. Selenium interface is WebDriver. So we need to strictly implement WebDriver methods. We should not write Chrome driver equal to new Chrome driver. So we need to give knowledge to the driver. That WebDriver methods only we need to use for automation. WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver we need to use. If you see in this example, WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver. In this way we need to create object for the Chrome browser, for Chrome driver. As I told earlier, we need to use Chrome driver, right? For that, first we need to set the Chrome driver in the script. See, in this way we have to set the Chrome driver path. System.set property WebDriver.Chrome.driver, and then here we have to give the Chrome driver path. We need to install the Chrome driver from the Internet Explorer, and then we need to give the path of the Chrome driver. So it reads from the path and communicate with the browser. Next one, driver.get of URL. To open any URL, we have to give like this, driver.get of. Inside we need to give the URL google.com, like that. To get the page title, driver.get title of, just driver.get title, we get the page title. So in this way we get the page title. We create one variable page title, and then page title equal to driver.get page title. It will retrieve the page title, and then we do validation whether we are in the correct page or not. Get current URL. So whether we are in the current application or not. To check that, we give driver.get current URL. So it will retrieve the current URL. We store that in the variable, string variable. Next, locators. We have some locators to identify the elements in the application. Those are ID, name, XPath, CSS selector, class name, partial link text. These are the locators to identify the elements. These are the locators. ID, if you want to use ID, we use driver dot find element by of that ID name we give. See, in this example, these are the HTML code which we can see in the DOM application DOM. Here input is the tag name, attributes, so class equal to input text, name equal to email. These are the attributes. Attribute value is email, input text which is in the red color. So we need to take those values to identify on the element. Here web element username equal to driver dot find element of by dot id. When you want to use id for the element, we need to give by dot id of that value, attribute value we need to give. Driver is the object reference variable of the web driver. Web element returns find element methods. Return type of the find element, when you want to return any value from the elements, we give web element is the variable. And then name locator, when if you want to use name attribute, you give like this. We need to give like this: driver dot find element of by dot name of that value. Link text, to click on any link we can directly use link text locator. Link text, that text which is displaying on the application, right, that text we need to give. Partial link text, if suppose if any link is dynamically changing, so that time when you want to give only partial part of the text, so that time we can use driver dot find element of by dot partial link text Wikipedia. Class name, we can give class name in some places, in some for few elements there will not be id, name, attributes, so that time we can go with class name. Driver dot find element of by dot class name. First we need to give driver browser reference object reference driver dot find element. It will go and find that element, find element method inside by dot tag name. Class name means attribute value, attribute, that is one parameter in the find element. We need to give the by dot class name or tag name. If any tag you want to pass, right, by dot find element. To get those all common tag names, we use by dot find elements. It will give the list of elements from the application. CSS selector, driver dot find element by dot CSS selector of, inside we give the CSS selector attributes. And then XPath, the find element by dot XPath of that value. So here id, name, these are directly we give the value. For CSS and XPath, we combine two attributes or three attributes and write the dynamic path. Next important one, what is the difference between relative XPath and absolute XPath? XPath means traverse to the node to reach the specific generic point. Absolute XPath means with the help of the parent node, it traverses to the specific node. Relative XPath means without depends on the parent node, directly jump to the specific element. It traverses to the specific node without help of the parent node. Suppose if any tag is changed, then absolute XPath will not work. We need to modify the absolute XPath. like it starts from the html node to till the specific node, right? If any tag is changed in between, we need to modify the xpath. But relative xpath is not like that. Directly it jump to the specific element, so from there itself we can modify if any attributes are changed. So better to use relative xpath instead of absolute xpath. This is absolute x path. See, it is a big path of the element HTML body. So each tag we need to add each tag and parent and child like that we have to add till the specific element. This is relative x path. For the same element we are taking the relative x path. Like for the specific element we take the attributes of the element. Next one, how to write XPath and CSS locators. These are very important to know how to write dynamic XPath locators. XPath, CSS. XPath, writing XPath is very simple. XPath equal to forward slash. It selects the current node. So it is relative XPath. Relative XPath we notify with double quotation. Absolute XPath we give single quotation. So single quotation means immediate child, parent of the immediate child. To tell the immediate child we have to give single quotation. And then select attribute. To select attribute we have to give attribute equal to value. So here forward slash double slash tag name within the bracket attribute equal to value. This is the syntax for writing XPath. If you want to write any text method, that time no need to give at symbol. Directly you can give text equal to that value. And then CSS selector. To give CSS selector for class name, this is the left side is the other selectors, right side is the CSS selectors. So here to give class name value we have to give dot register. To give the tag name, just tag name that value. To give id value ash id. To give the name equal to that value. XPath is like that, right? To give such type of XPath in a CSS we give body and then symbol navigate. We can, if double slash are there, forward slash. So for absolute XPath we give that symbol greater than symbol. If double slash is there we give with some space. This is how we write CSS selector. How to select drop down. In the application we have some drop downs, right? To how to select those values. See, banana apple, this is the drop down. To select that we give select for this is static drop down. For this tag should be select and then any variable name equal to new select of that locator we need to give. That element location we need to give driver dot find element of by dot id. So it will go to that place. Cursor go to that place and then variable name fruits dot select by visible text. So whatever we can see in the application, whatever the visible text that we can give banana or apple. Visible index, if you want to take first one will be 0, second one will be 1. So based on index when you want to take you have to give by index. Another method select by value. In a DOM for that element if value is appear, that value we need to give. Next one, how to select drop downs. dynamic drop down, like for some drop downs we don't find select tag. For those, how to do that? For dynamic drop down um, we need to select inside the values using find elements. Common tag we have to give, like that same select tag, how we selected, right? In the same way we select that drop down web element. In that xpath locators we select, when you use find elements, it will take all common values in the drop down and store into the list variable. So for find elements, return type value is list. Once we store all the values, we use for loop to take any, to click on any value in the drop down. We have to use for loop. In that web element option equal to options. Options is a variable, so it from options to option, it will go each variable, each value, and check if option dot get text to to find the values in the list. We use dot get text, it will give each variable, each value in the list, equal to dot equal that expected value. If that value present, we go and click on the variable. Next one is checkbox selection. For checkbox selection, first we take all the checkboxes list in the application using find elements, and then to check how many checkboxes are there, we give dot size. And then we click on the specific checkbox. Using for loop also we can use and go to the specific location and click on the checkbox. Suppose when you want to see whether the value is selected or not, for verification whether the expected value is clicked or not. So for that we have some methods. Is selected is used is a method is used to check whether the element is selected or not. Is enabled, suppose few elements are enabled or disabled, to check whether that is enabled or not. For that we use is enabled. So this is the example. Here we selected one value, dot is selected. So we check whether it is that value is selected or not. This is true false. If it is selected, then it will show true or false. We can give like this also, asset dot asset false, inside driver dot find element of that variable is selected. So asset dot false true will give the true false results. Next one is enabled. To check verify any element is enabled or disabled. For that we use is enabled. This is very simple. Driver dot find element of dot is enable. It is, if it is enable, it will show true or false. Sometimes we get issue like is enable will not work. That time we need to check in the DOM that which attribute is trying to change the element. Suppose when you inspect, right, that time that variable is showing enable. When we are not inspecting, it looks disable, but when we are trying to inspect, that change to enable. For that we need to check which element is trying to change that at element to enable or disable. So based on that we can do the coding for such type of elements. So here it's trying to change, suppose if it is trying to change the style attribute, we have to take the get attribute value of a style. Here for that element we driver dot find element by dot id dot get attribute of style. Okay, in style we get the value of a style. Here if condition, we need to use the if condition to verify it's enable or disable. dot get attribute of style dot contains 1. If it is 1, then it is enabled. So we can run it and check whether it is display capacity 0.5 or 1. So based on that we can give in the if condition and check whether that is enable or disable. Next one is JavaScript alert. There are some alerts which we cannot inspect on that. How to handle those? When we try to quickly grab and identify that, it will not happen because that is not HTML, that is not a browser related window, that is a web related, that is a window JavaScript related screen window. For that, how to handle? We need to switch to that existing window, and then there are some class files, try alert class, so we need to switch the driver to alert. Driver dot switch to dot alert dot accept or disabled or get text. To get the value from the window, we use dot get text. See, this is the example. These are the pop-up is there, right? This is not web related, this is window related. How to handle this? Using alert class. Driver dot find element of that locator. Driver dot switch to dot alert dot get text. Driver dot switch to dot alert dot accept to click on OK. Get text to get the value from the window screen. Alert dot switch to dot alert. Driver dot switch to dot alert dot dismiss. It will cancel. Sometimes we have cancel button, right? To dismiss that we give dismiss.